Hello, my name is Dr. Kevin Lawler. I'm the Discipline Lead for Social Sciences in TU Dublin, based in our Grange Gorman campus. And I'd like to give an overview of our four taught MA programs in the social sciences area. All four have a common structure, so that is why they're all included in this single presentation. So we have two taught MA programs that will be of interest to a general audience, mainly anybody with a social sciences or social studies or arts degree undergraduate background. The first of those is the MA in Child, Family and Community Studies, and the second is the MA in Criminology. We then have two specialist programs, and they are designed specifically for professionals working in the fields of social care, and such graduates would come back to us to do the MA in Social Care Leadership and Management. And we have a similar program for early childhood care professionals with backgrounds in early childhood education who come to study our MA in Mentoring, Management, Leadership in the early years. So that's the four programs that we have, and all have a common structure. So I'll talk about that now. The first thing to say is that all of the programs have a part-time option, so they are designed and geared for the busy working professional who will come back to college 1 or 2 evenings a week for 2 years. They all also have a 1 year full-time option as well. All have the same structure in terms of credits, and it's a common structure you would see in many master's programs. So there are 60 credits of taught modules across a wide range of discipline areas, which I'll mention in a moment. And they are conducted in a classroom style environment on our brand new state-of-the-art building in the East Quad on the Grange Gorman campus in Dublin 7. After completing those 60 credits, a student might decide to leave or to exit, in which case they'd be eligible for the Postgraduate Diploma Award. But for those who wish to pursue the full Masters, they then complete a 30 ECTS credit capstone research project or a dissertation. And they do that with the oversight or the supervision of an assigned academic member of staff. But it is a fairly large scale, 14,000 word independent piece of research that is completed for the award of MA. So if we look at the indicative content or some of the modules on each of those four programs, they include core modules and optional modules. And the optional modules can be shared across students on all four MA programs. So you can see them here on the screen. So without going through them all, but just to give a flavour, for the MA in Child, Family and Community Studies, the core modules are around the psychology, sociology and social policy of all aspects of child and youth studies and lifespan development. So, for example, modules on equality, diversity and intercultural practice, modules on transitions across the lifespan, which is effectively developmental psychology, and core module on research methods. And that's common across all four MA programs as well. All students will be assisted and prepared to conduct their dissertation by first completing a research methods module. And this is designed to cater for students who may not have done research methods or statistics in their undergraduate degree, as would be common on a psychology degree, for example, but not so common on a degree in sociology or social sciences, for example. So there are core modules, and then the students select two optional modules, and I'll come to those in a moment as well. Moving on then to the MA in Criminology. This program typically appeals to people who are working in the justice sector, perhaps in the DPP's office or in the probation service. We've had a number of Gardaí completing this program over the years, but it also appeals to people coming straight through from undergraduate degrees who have an interest in the broad victimology, penology, juvenile justice area, and who wish to complete an independent research project as well. So indicative modules, as we can see on the screen here, include criminological theory, understanding the criminal justice system, a module on criminal psychology. Again, as we saw before, the research methods module as a preparation for conducting the dissertation. Looking then at the two specialist programs, some of the indicative content on the MA in Social Care Leadership and Management. And to repeat, this program, one is required to be in a leadership or team manager role as a qualified social care worker. So this program is not open to those who do not have such an undergraduate degree. But it is designed to develop and foster management skills within the social care sector. And that's the broad social care sector, whether it's residential childcare, community development, working in homeless services, working in intellectual disability services, the broad spectrum of social care. And some of the indicative modules there include leadership and strategic management in social care, legal issues for social care managers, and that would be delivered by our colleagues in our Department of Law, contemporary practice and ethical perspectives, and again, as we've seen on each of the programs, the research methods module. And then turning to our fourth and final MA, this again is the specialist masters specifically geared for those with an early childhood education undergraduate degree. Again, it's designed to foster mentoring skills and management skills within the early years sector. And some of the core modules include, as we can see here on the screen, the role of quality in early childhood education, such an important topic in this field, management in early childhood education services, childhood in context, leadership and organizational change, and again, the research methods. So all four taught masters are designed to give a good grounding in the theoretical perspectives and the most up-to-date literature in the fields, and for the students to study that in a classroom collegiate way, and then from all of that 60 credits of study to select the area that they would like to focus in on and conduct their research on. And we found over the years that that will often be a real world issue or question or debate within their own working lives, or something that they may have seen on practice placements, for example. So students will typically try and find a research question that is current, that is up to date, that is responding to recent strategic changes, legislative changes, and they'll seek to study that in detail, often by interviewing professionals, policymakers, or others working in that given sector. We then have two optional modules that students take, and they take those from this list here. So we've designed the optional modules to be available to all students across all four MA programs. And they're usually developed by members of staff who have a particular interest or a particular background in a specialist niche area, and that is what is offered to the students as an optional module. And some of the recent examples include youth offending, interventions in child and adolescent mental health, masculinities, care and equality, criminal law, and so on, as we can see on the screen there. Now, not every optional module is offered every year. If only one or two students select an optional module, it's not really viable to run it. So we will run those most in demand. Now, moving on a little bit to some of the common questions that we would have. Will I have a dissertation supervisor? Yes. Each student is allocated a member of staff who will work with them one-on-one from the January to October period, during which they write their 14,000 word research dissertation. They will have regular meetings with that supervisor. The supervisor will be in a position to provide guidance, feedback, to assist them in the process of applying for research ethics approval within the school, for example, and generally be a source of expertise to guide them throughout the process, notwithstanding that it is the student's own piece of work that they're responsible for delivering themselves. Given many people are working, alongside doing their masters, people are often very keen to know when the lectures will be held. Most of the programs are delivered, whether one is a full-time student or a part-time student, from 4 o'clock in the evening onwards. And typically a full-time student might attend 8 hours of lectures a week, and a part-time student between 2 and 4, depending which modules they select. The exception is the MA in Social Care Leadership and Management, where the lectures are delivered from 12 noon onwards. And the idea here is that for people who are working, they can take the part-time MA and just leave work early 1 day a week or 2 days a week to attend lectures from 4 or 6. And we typically end of an evening at 8 o'clock. So it's designed to be attractive and friendly to people who are trying to juggle work and study. Over the years, we have published the full text dissertations of our students who have achieved marks of a first class honours or a high 2-1 in booklets, whereby the abstract of the piece of work is provided, and then a link to the full text on the TU Dublin repository. And you can see the web link there of an example. I always think it's a very good idea for somebody thinking of doing a master's. What does the dissertation look like? What is the end product going to be? Will I be able for it? What is expected of me? What's the scope and scale and the size of it? And that's why we have produced this booklet. So it's well worth having a look at some of the dissertations that have been written in the past. And it takes away some of the mystique and makes it a more realistic and manageable, I think, exercise. So if you are interested in doing a master's and you're interested in pursuing your own independent piece of research, go and have a look at what has been done before. They're all in open access format in the TU Dublin repository, which is called Arrow at tudublin.ie, and it'll give you a good sense of the scale of what's required. Finally then, each of the MA programs has a designated program coordinator, and you can see their contact details there. We are more than happy to answer any questions that people have. We can be contacted at the email addresses that are listed there, and we're only delighted to answer any queries that people have, large or small, and we do pride ourselves in getting back to people very quickly to assist them with their application process. So we would love to see you in the Grangegorman campus, and whether you do your MA with us or elsewhere, best of luck in your future studies. Thank you.